There is something in these eyes that defies all logic, and frankly, shouldn't be possible in the art world. They were painted in the year 1880 on a heavy wooden panel, but they do not belong to the past. They are looking at you right now, in this exact moment, across time and space, and I guarantee that when you understand how a 19th century Danish artist managed to capture this almost ghostly presence, you will never look at a painting the same way again. Welcome to Hidden Intellects. The artwork we are about to dissect holds 3 dark and deeply disturbing secrets. The first lies in its forensic technique, in how a painter from Copenhagen managed to resurrect the exact, almost forgotten method of masters who had been dead for over 400 years. The second secret dwells in its intricate psychology, revealing why this image deeply unsettles you, corners you, and demands an answer even if you are a complete skeptic. And the third secret is hidden in the matter itself, in the living wood, in what the relentless passage of centuries did to this artwork, and what that physical decay tells us about the crushing weight of eternity. But before unraveling all of this, I need to show you something that almost everyone overlooks, a minuscule and chilling detail that the artist hid in plain sight, patiently waiting for someone to notice. To understand the magnitude of this work, we must travel into the mind of its creator. Carl Bloch was born in Copenhagen in 1834. During his years of study in Rome, he became obsessed with darkness and dramatic lighting, admiring Rembrandt with a devotion that bordered on fanaticism. Midway through his career, when his technique had reached absolute maturity, a king handed him the commission of a lifetime, a monumental and exhausting task to paint 22 scenes from the New Testament to adorn the imposing royal chapel of Frederiksborg Castle. Among all those masterful pieces, The Mocking of Christ, completed in 1880, stands as the undeniable pinnacle of his career. The painting shows the raw and brutal moment when the Roman soldiers, drowned in ignorance and violence, drape Jesus in a scarlet robe, ruthlessly drive a crown of thorns into his skull, and openly mock his agony. It is, by definition, a scene of public humiliation, a portrait of absolute collective cruelty where noise, contempt, and blood should dominate the atmosphere. However, faced with this scenario of chaos, Bloch made a completely unexpected artistic decision that alters the entire biblical narrative. Instead of showing a broken Christ, crying, begging, or physically shattered by unbearable pain, he painted him strangely and supernaturally serene, motionless, like a marble statue in the middle of a storm of hatred. With his eyes wide open, staring straight ahead, he does not look at the soldiers humiliating him, nor at the crown of thorns, nor at the blood-stained floor. He is staring directly at you. This is not a compositional accident. It is a technical, philosophical, and psychological decision of overwhelming brilliance, which Bloch meticulously built, layer by layer, glaze after glaze. To understand what you are truly seeing in the depths of this panel, you must understand the forensic language with which it was crafted. Bloch did not paint this artwork like a man of the 19th century industrial era. He traveled back in time. He painted like Jan van Eyck, the legendary 15th century Flemish master who perfected oil painting into a complex system of optical illusion. Van Eyck's technique, obsessively rescued by Bloch, does not consist of applying a simple layer of opaque paint onto a canvas. It is an exhausting and calculating process based on dozens of transparent glazes. Each glaze is an extremely thin layer of oil and pigment, as delicate as a breath, which subtly modifies the light passing through it before bouncing off the dense oak surface. Look closely at the skin of Christ. Bloch built that hypnotic and unreal luminosity by applying 7 or more layers of translucent oil over a meticulously polished white primer. The physical light of the room enters the painting, passes through the pigment, bounces off the luminous background, and emerges colored toward your eyes. That is why this is not a simple flat painting. It is a 3-dimensional window where the skin seems to emit its own internal light, pulsing with a silent life. It is the absolute mastery of the invisible brush trick. These masters use tools so fine, sometimes brushes made of a single animal hair, and techniques so inhumanly controlled that the brushstrokes themselves completely disappear. When you look closely, you don't see the artist's hand, you don't see the effort or the stroke, you only see a crushing reality, an illusion of pure objectivity, manufactured with decades of monastic discipline. Now, take a moment to observe the brutal geometric composition that governs this microcosm. Bloch divides the space into 2 technically and morally opposed worlds. The chaos of the Roman soldier, his face distorted by anger, is built with aggressive impasto, violent strokes, and thicker paint that captures light erratically. This material frenzy clashes head-on with the divine stillness of Christ, whose figure is crafted with the most delicate, polished, and soft glazes of the entire panel. Contemplate his tightly bound hands. Bloch painted them with an almost clinical coldness, devoid of cheap sentimentality. You can see the bluish veins pulsing beneath the translucent skin, the physical tension of the real knot in the rough ropes, and the relentless pressure of the thick fabric against the pale flesh. There is no exaggerated drama here, no theatrical gestures. There is only pure forensic evidence attesting to the raw physical reality of torture. The environment surrounding these figures hides another unsettling truth. The background of this painting is not simply a black backdrop, it is the absolute void. To achieve this devouring effect, Bloch did not use a single tube of generic dark paint. He applied more than 8 layers of different dark pigments, layering ivory black, bone black, and raw umber to build an unfathomable depth that literally absorbs the light of the room where the artwork is displayed. It is a universe of total indifference, a silent abyss that suffocates the characters and isolates the moment for eternity. In the midst of that blackness, the soldiers handed Jesus a vulgar reed as a fake scepter to mock his supposed kingdom. Bloch detailed that reed with a botanical precision that is terrifying. You can feel the fibrous texture, the tiny cracks of the plant, and the fragile joints of the dry stem. And right at the tip of that reed, barely noticeable, he placed a single, minuscule gleam of pure light, the only trace of hope in an ocean of oppression and profound human humiliation. But the darkest and most disturbing secret of this masterpiece is strictly psychological. In any traditional biblical painting, the characters interact with each other. They act in their own closed world, and you are just an outsider, a passive and safe observer on the other side of the glass. Bloch completely destroyed that barrier. He broke the fourth wall with subtle psychological violence. Bloch's Christ does not suffer for himself, nor does he suffer for his torturers. He stares right at you, demanding an inescapable moral stance. And if you zoom in enough, if you get close enough to brush against the virtual panel and look deep into his dark pupil, you will find a secret hidden on a millimeter scale, a reflection, a small, slightly blurred figure painted with the tip of an extremely fine brush. It is the silhouette of a person standing in front of him. It is the reflection of the observer. In that exact moment, you realize the absolute truth. You are trapped inside the painting. You are part of the mob. You are the silent witness to history, and the reality is that you always were. That moral confrontation materializes even in the most microscopic details. In the exact same square centimeter of wood, Bloch painted two diametrically opposed realities silently colliding: the crystalline tear of compassion rolling down Christ's cheek, and the repulsive spit of the soldier staining his face. Physically, visually, both are simply drops of liquid on human skin, fluids that capture the ambient light as if they were tiny diamonds embedded in the paint. Bloch used exactly the same sublime technique, the same level of artistic devotion, and the same optical perfection to render both drops. And that is the true underlying terror in this artwork: the absolute technical perfection applied impartially and equally to both the purest divinity and the most disgusting cruelty. It is a disturbing reminder that art, much like the universe itself, can be a brilliant but completely indifferent witness to suffering. The final and definitive secret of the mocking of Christ lies in its own body, in the physical object that sustains it through the ages. This is not a docile and compliant canvas. It is a heavy, thick, and rigid oak wood panel. This wood is a material so tenacious and so inherently alive that surprisingly it continues to breathe and move centuries after being chopped down in some remote European forest. The oak has physical memory. It subtly warps, seeking the moisture in the air, and it imperceptibly contracts with the cold and dryness of the Danish winters. And with every seasonal micro-movement over the decades, the rigid and crystallized layers of oil that Bloch applied over a century ago inevitably crack. That intricate pattern of fissures, that craquelure that looks like a network of dry veins branching across the paint, is the relentless map of time. Carl Bloch never painted those cracks. It was time itself that patiently sculpted them as the years went by. And what is fascinating is that they perfectly follow the topography of the artwork. They are fine and delicate over the thin layer of the illuminated cheekbones, and they are deep, dark, and wide in the shadowy areas where the paint is thicker. The painting ages, revealing its own anatomy and vulnerability, proving that time is in itself the greatest forensic analysis of our existence. For long, dark decades, through wars and transformations in Europe, many of these monumental works lay stored and forgotten beneath heavy, dusty cloths in the corners of the castle. The black soot from thousands of candles lit by the faithful slowly merged with the thick protective varnish, turning the dirt, the smoke, and even the breath of past generations into an inseparable part of the artwork's history. Today, when we look back into those eyes, we do so through that thick filter of time. You now know empirically that his divine light actually bounces off the dead wood of an old oak tree, that the passage of centuries has written its own brutal testament in the form of scars and cracks, and that your own reflection, in a terrifying and brilliant way, lies immortalized in the darkness of his pupil. But knowing all this logically, analytically, and rationally, does it make his piercing gaze stop haunting you when you turn off the light? Or does understanding the complex and flawless mechanics of this masterful trick make it even more overwhelming, more miraculous, and truly extraordinary? Over 140 years have passed since the wet brush left the panel for the last time. The stubborn living oak continues to move in the dark. The cracks continue to grow slowly and inexorably over the painted faces. And that gaze is still there, breaking the relentless barrier of time, just waiting for you. At Hidden Intellects, we deeply value, research, and celebrate undeniable human genius and the rich history of global art. However, we want to make a highly important and honest clarification for our community of viewers. The stunning images accompanying this visual narrative are ultra-high fidelity recreations generated by artificial intelligence. They have been carefully designed by us to illustrate the microscopic details, the ancient textures, and the oppressive atmosphere of this fascinating story, strictly based on 15th century Flemish techniques. We admire, study, and reverently respect the true historical and contemporary artists who dedicated their entire lives and sometimes their sanity to perfecting their craft. We use these advanced AI tools solely as a modern visual medium to expand our documentary narrative, but we hold an absolute, profound, and unshakable certainty on this channel. The human soul, the real texture of suffering, the sacred intention, and the profound emotional weight of art, forged by human hands, will always, inevitably and undeniably surpass any machine or algorithm. If this dark and fascinating story transformed your way of perceiving a classic painting and made you feel the real weight of time on your shoulders, we invite you to subscribe right now to Hidden Intellects. Like this video to support our work, and let us know in the comments what you felt inside when you crossed gazes with those immortal eyes. Your constant support allows us to continue investigating, analyzing, and unearthing the most fascinating and forgotten artistic mysteries of our shared history. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past, and we will see you very soon in our next discovery.